Okay, today we have to discuss about unemployment. This is chapter 6. So in this chapter, you will learn the natural rate of unemployment. We will see what is natural rate of unemployment, how it is calculated, and what are the factors that will affect the natural rate of unemployment. So this is the natural rate of unemployment, that it is an average rate of unemployment around which the economy fluctuates. So in any economy, there is a natural rate of unemployment, okay? And then actual unemployment fluctuate the natural rate of unemployment. So in recession, actual unemployment rate rises above the natural rate of unemployment, and in boom, the actual unemployment rate falls below the natural rate of unemployment. So you can see this graph. So this is the unemployment rate, actual unemployment, and then this red line is the natural rate of unemployment. So in any economy, we cannot say that there will be 100% employment. There is always some unemployment. Okay, and the actual unemployment sometimes would be higher than the natural rate of unemployment, and so this is in case of recession, and then in case of boom, we have a lower unemployment, actual unemployment rate. This is a model for the natural rate of unemployment. We are assuming that L is the number of workers in labor force, and E is the number of employed workers, and U is the number of unemployed workers. So this means this labor force equals employed plus unemployed. Okay, and if we divide unemployed with the labor force, we will get unemployment rate. And we are assuming that L is exogenously fixed. Okay, and then during any given month, suppose this S is the fraction of employed workers that become separated from their jobs. So it means S is the fraction of employed workers who lose their jobs, who becomes unemployed. And then S would be called as the rate of job separation. Then we have F. F is the fraction of unemployed workers that find jobs. So this is the rate of job finding. F is the rate of job finding. S is the rate of job separation. And these both are exogenous. Okay. Now let's see the transition between employment and unemployment. Okay, we have employed, we have unemployed. Okay, so rate of job separation multiplied by employed, so we will get unemployed. Okay, and then rate of job finding and multiplied by unemployed, we will get the employed. Okay, so in this way, we have the transition between employment and unemployment. And then what would be the steady state condition? In the labor market, we will say that there is a steady state or long run equilibrium if the unemployment rate is constant. And when the unemployment rate would be constant, if this the number of employed people who lose or leave their jobs equals the number of unemployed people who find their jobs. So if this is the condition, so then the unemployment rate would be constant, and this is called the steady state or the long run equilibrium in the labor market. So in the labor market, we have long run equilibrium if we have this condition. Now we have to find out the equilibrium unemployment rate. Okay, so because this from here we are getting this F into U, this equals S into E. Okay, U is unemployed, number of unemployed, this is number of employed, this is the fraction of people who find job, this is the fraction of workers who lose their jobs. Okay, so the same equation we wrote here, and then from here, because L equals E plus U, so from there we can get E. E would be L minus U. Okay. And then I substituted here L minus U in place of E, because L equals E plus U, or from there we can get E, which is L minus U, and then it is multiplied by S. So then this S will be multiplied by L, this S would be multiplied by U. Okay, SL, SU, minus sign is there, and left hand side we have F into U. Then we have to solve it for unemployment rate, equilibrium unemployment rate. So from here this would be equal to, I will take this F into U is there, and then S into U I will take to the left hand side, then it will become plus S into U. Now U is here, U is here, so U is common, and then F plus S. Okay, so I will keep U here, and I will bring L left hand side, so it will be in the denominator, and F plus S would come to the right hand side, so this will be the condition. So U divided by L equals S, which is here. Okay, and then F plus S is here. This is the equilibrium unemployment rate, or the natural unemployment rate. Okay, so if we have these two fractions, we can find the equilibrium unemployment rate. Look at this example. So suppose each month 1% of employed workers lose their jobs. So rate of job separation S equals 0.01. Okay, and 19% of unemployed workers find jobs. So rate of job finding is 0.19. So we got S and F. So can you calculate what would be the rate of unemployment, natural rate of unemployment, if we substitute these two values here? Okay, just substitute these two values and give me the value for U or L. Yes, calculate. This is 0.01 and 0.19. 0.01, 0.19. Substitute here. What is the answer?
0.05.
505.
Sir, 0.05.
0.05.
0.05.
0.05 if we...
Yes, sir, 0.05.
Okay, 0.05. If we take it in percentage, then it will be
5%.
5%. Okay. So we have substituted here. Okay, 0.05 or 5%. This means the natural rate of unemployment is 5%. So if we have rate of job separation, rate of job finding, then we can easily calculate the natural rate of unemployment. Then basically the policy, if we have a policy to reduce the natural rate of unemployment, so then we have to focus S and F. So we have to lower S and we have to increase F. Then the natural rate of unemployment will decrease. Okay. Then the question is why there is unemployment. Actually, the job findings. If the job findings are instantaneous, then the rate of job finding would be equal to 1. Okay. And then all spells of unemployment would be brief. Okay. And the natural rate of unemployment would be near to 0. But actually this is not the case in real world. So job finding is not instantaneous. If you are losing a job, you will not immediately get another job. Okay, it takes time. So there are two reasons why F is not equal to 1, why it is not instantaneous, why it is less than 1. Because of job search. So we have to, when you lose one job, then it means you have to search for another job and it takes time. So it will not be instantaneous. It is not that today you lost a job and tomorrow you will get another job. Again, you have to search job and it will take time. Then also there is a wage rigidity. Okay, wages are rigid. Okay. Particularly, we see that wages are rigid downward. Okay, the workers, they are not ready to accept lower wages. So there is downward rigidity of wage. Okay, so we have frictional unemployment, and this is caused by the time it takes workers to search for a job. Okay, job search, because of job search, we have frictional unemployment, and because wages are even if the wages are flexible, so it will take time to search a job. So why? Because workers have different abilities and their preferences. Okay, so this is also this will take times to get another job because of your preferences and your abilities and job. And different jobs have different skill requirement. Maybe you lost a job and then you are looking for another job, and there is a problem of matching of skills in that job. So skill requirements, maybe there is some additional skills are required to work in some other company and we don't have that skill. And also the geographic mobility of workers. This is not instantaneous. So if you lost a job here in your city, suppose Karachi, and then there is a job available in Islamabad or Lahore, so it is not easy to quickly move to Islamabad or Lahore. So geographic mobility is also a factor which is resulting frictional unemployment. And also we have a flow of information about vacancies and job candidate is imperfect. We don't get information immediately. It takes time to get information for the jobs. Nowadays, there are different websites available and you will get information on social media about jobs. But in the past, it was very difficult to get information about the jobs. Normally, it appears in newspapers, and then you have to apply, and then you have to wait for interview, and then it required too much time to get another job. And also, we see that there is a sectoral shift. Okay. Changes in the composition of demand among industries and regions, and we can see that there are technological change, more jobs repairing computers and fewer jobs repairing typewriters. So if someone who was expert in typing on typewriter, but there is suppose technological change and now we don't have typewriter, we have computers, so that person is good in typing, but that person cannot type on computer. So skill, again, it means that person requires to learn how to type on computer, the person who was typing on typewriter. So it will take times to get training for typing on computer, and then to get a certificate, and then you have to apply for a job. So this is also a factor. And then we have new international trade agreements. So because of this, there is increase in exports, and there is also increase in imports. So if there is increase in exports, then there will be labor demand in the export sectors, and because we are importing, so there will be a decrease in demand for labor in import competing sectors. So these import competing sector in your economy basically producing the goods, substitute for the goods that you are importing. So because of free trade, and now there are less industries for import competing in the import competing sectors. So people would be losing their jobs in this sector, and there will be more demand for labor in the export sectors, and this is causing frictional unemployment. Then why there is unemployment? We continue this. Natural rate of unemployment, we discuss that is equals S or S plus F, and these are the two reasons we discuss. The job search, and the second is the wage rigidity. So job search reason we discuss. The second reason is the wage rigidity. This we discuss, and this is next, that people will not get the job instantaneously. It takes time. And this is the unemployment from real wage rigidity. So we have real wage here, labor here. This is the labor demand. This is the labor supply, and there will be equilibrium here. But suppose real wage are rigid here. Now, if your real wage is rigid, then there will be unemployment, because this is the labor supply, this is the labor demand. So we have, this is the amount of labor hired, and this is the unemployment. This is the unemployment, and this unemployment is because of real wage rigidity to downward. Okay? If real wage is not rigid, if it is flexible, then real wage will move downward, and then there will be equilibrium here. Okay? And then there will be no unemployment. But actually, in reality, real wages are downward rigid. So we see there is unemployment in the labor market. If real wage is stuck above its equilibrium level, then there aren't enough jobs to go around. Okay, so for this real wage, this is the amount of labor hired, but the amount of labor willing to work is this much. So this is the unemployed labor force. So we also have structural unemployment. Okay, unemployment resulting from the real wage rigidity and job rationing. Then the firm, they will do job rationing. And also why the real wage is rigid? This is because of the minimum wage laws. Okay, in some countries we have minimum wage laws, so you cannot reduce the wages below to the minimum wage. And also we can see that we have labor unions. Okay, and they force the administration not to reduce the wages. This is also a factor. And also we have efficiency wage. Some companies, they give higher wages to motivate their employees and to get higher productivity. So minimum wage may exceed the equilibrium wage of unskilled worker, especially teenager, but the minimum wage cannot explain the majority of the natural rate of unemployment, as most worker wages are well above the minimum wage. So it could be a reason, but it will not explain the majority of the natural rate of unemployment. So it could be a factor, but the other factors are more influential on the natural rate of unemployment than the minimum wage. Labor union, this is a very strong factor for the natural rate of unemployment. Okay, so union exercise monopoly power to secure higher wages for their employees, okay, for their members. When the union wage exceeds the equilibrium wage, unemployment result. So basically, unions, they put their demand to the administration for higher wages, and then administration accept their demand. So this will result unemployment. And in the union case also, we have insider and outsider. You see, they are employed union workers whose interest is to keep wages high. Okay, but there are outsiders, they are unemployed non-union workers who prefer to get equilibrium wages, so there will be enough jobs. But the problem is this is very strong, so they don't allow for real wages to go down. That's why there would be unemployment in the labor market. Then we have efficiency wage theory. Theories in which higher wages increase workers' productivity. This says if we give higher wages to worker, it will increase their productivity. And if you are giving higher wages, you will attract higher quality job applicant. Okay, and also it will increase worker effort and to reduce shrinking. And then also reduce the turnover. Okay, there, you can see that there are some people who get job in one place and then immediately shift their job, so their turnover is high because they have high skills. So if they get higher wages from other company, they switch. If the company keep a higher wages, so then you can reduce the turnover, because if a worker who is highly skilled getting a very good pay in that firm, so they have less attraction to go to some other firm. Because if there is high turnover, then it will be also costly to the firm. So if you are reducing turnover, so it will be less costly. And in a sense, why it is costly to the firm? Because if you are a very good employee, leave the job, then again this means you have to advertise that job, you have to shortlist, then you have to get interview, and then you have to get the right person, and it will take enough time. So that's why firm prefer to pay higher wages to keep their employees with them, to reduce the cost. And it will also improve health of workers. So if in developing countries, particularly if you are paying higher wages, the workers would be able to spend more on health, and they will remain healthy, and it will increase their productivity. So firm willingly pay above equilibrium wages to raise productivity. So the firm, they are willing to pay higher wages above than the equilibrium wage. This is just to raise their productivity, and because of these reasons, and because of this we have natural rate of unemployment. So we have a structural unemployment. Then the duration of unemployment. So the long-term unemployment is probably structural or due to sectoral shift among vastly different industries. knowing this is important because it helps us craft policies that are more likely to work. So if we focus on all these things, okay, then we can, maintain a lower rate of national unemployment. Otherwise, national rate of unemployment will be higher. This is the graph for the unemployment rate in Europe, 1960 to 2005. This is Germany. You can see after 1980 it increased. It was very low before 1975. After 75 it is increasing. Then it is Italy, unemployment. This is Europe, France, and then UK. So we have. Okay. So I will stop here.